I wasn't sure if I wanted to film with natural light or not today, and the windows in my room make these really weird fucking lines, like shadows on me, but you know, I kind of like this. I like the natural light every once in a while, so I think I'm gonna go with it, and as the sun sets, maybe it'll fuck up more, but we're gonna go with it for now. So eclipse season is continuing. So we can expect disruptive catalyst events that lead us to completely rethink what we thought we knew. We're individually becoming much more independent and less trustworthy of that around us. Our partner for today's video is Celsius, and very excitingly, Celsius has announced wrapped Bitcoin through Celsius X launching on the Polygon network. Celsius has a new futuristic arm and started with the launch of Celsius X. They can't wait to bring more innovative products to the community in the future. CXBTC will be joining their other wrapped assets such as Cardano, ETH, and Doge, all on Polygon. Now, if you don't know what a wrapped asset is, imagine that all these blockchains are different roads and only certain cars can go down this road. Only red cars down this road, only blue cars down this road. Wrapped assets is like allowing for the red car to go down the blue road because it's wrapping it in blue paint, even though the car itself is equivalent to the red car. Essentially, it is wrapping something up like Bitcoin that is usually only present on the Bitcoin network, but having what is worth one Bitcoin or worth a Bitcoin value then present on another blockchain such as Polygon. The fact that Celsius X is making assets interoperable is really, really important so that users can choose what blockchain makes sense for them to use. Chainlink CXBTC is using the state-of-the-art Chainlink proof of reserve architecture. If you know me, you know that Chainlink was basically how I started trading. That was the first chart that I studied. I have a sweet spot for Chainlink, so I like seeing every Chainlink partnership and use. It's good, it's transparent, it's accountable, it's a good use of it. Celsius is helping over 1.6 million users have financial freedom. I am one of them. It's my home for crypto, and I can get loans and other financial services that simply aren't offered to me in the traditional system. For more info, my affiliate link and promo codes all are down below. Thank you to Celsius as always. It's a joy talking about a platform that I trust as much as this, and I look forward to more announcements in the future. So if you're excited to see what the astrology holds for the month ahead for May 2022, make sure that you like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so that you are always up to date with what the stars have in store for you. So if you're new here, hi, I am Maren. I am a Western astrologer using the tropical zodiac and mostly Hellenistic Greek astrological techniques. I talk about astrology, I talk about crypto, I talk about a lot of weird things, but yeah, happy to see you here. And you know what? This lighting is not feasible, so we're gonna change this up. Okay, that's better. So we start out the month with actually a lovely aspect of Venus conjoining Jupiter in Pisces. Venus is exalted in Pisces, meaning that as a planet, it is very royally lifted up by being in the sign of Pisces. Venus represents love, beauty, and values, and Pisces is immutable water. It knows no boundaries. It is about spreading and permeating its message and its significations. Venus, love, value, harmony, is going to do very well in a sign of limitless abundance. So I love Venus and Pisces, does very well there, and Jupiter is at home in Pisces, and planets are most comfortable and most constructive in their home signs. So having Venus exalted, Jupiter in its home sign, the two benefics, the two life-giving planets together, is a really lovely opening to the month on a personal level for many people, especially Pisces placements. There's a quality of spread here going on this month. It is what it is. But on the 2nd, Venus will enter Aries. So Venus entering Aries is values, love, beauty, harmony, entering the sign of Mars, which shows that we are more interested in standing up for our independence and what we really believe in. Venus in Aries I find being a very good feminism indicator, just simply due to Aries being individualistic, being concerned with personal rights, and Venus often representing women. Also Venus is in its exile or in its antithesis in Aries. Venus rules the opposite sign of Libra. So when planets are in the sign opposite to the sign that they rule, they're said to be in a foreign country. It's kind of like Venus taking a tour of a Mars-ruled sign. It's a little bit out of the ordinary or uncomfortable, but not the end of the world or anything to be worried about necessarily. On the 4th to the 5th, the Sun will conjoin Uranus and Taurus. Sun conjoining Uranus and Taurus is this lightning bolt, very sudden enacting energy from power figures or people in positions of power. The Sun is often those we look up to or have positions of authority, and Uranus is sudden actions, very disruptive, very rebellious actions. So for those of you with Taurus placements in particular from the 4th to the 5th, you could expect some disruptive actions on your behalf or your Taurus friends. Also could be a time of those in power in general in the world being very disruptive, acting very sporadically. On the 10th, Mercury is stationing retrograde in Gemini. So all of the Mercury retrogrades this year are in air signs, showing definite reevaluation of information, data, and the transmission of ideas during this time. Mercury retrogrades are most difficult and most applicable for those of us with Mercury-ruled signs in our charts, such as Gemini or Virgo, which are the two signs ruled by Mercury. So myself as a Virgo sun, along with any Gemini sun, moon risings, etc., we get hit hardest. But besides that, in the world, we tend to have more tech issues, more miscommunications, a bit more trouble with getting our point across or getting to meetings and things on time. Not the end of the world, and this Mercury retrograde is not in like maximum affliction to anything. So it's not the end of the world, as I said, more a case of minor inconveniences and things just not going exactly according to plan during the next 3 weeks. However, also on the 10th, Jupiter is entering the sign of Aries. Now, I will have a full video that would have come out before this, all on Jupiter and Aries and how this is a major transit for this summer and then in 2023. But with Jupiter expanding and Aries being a sign of individualism, of cardinal fire, so inspiration, acting quickly, acting courageously, Jupiter entering Aries is great for sudden rights organizations, sudden social movements. It's great for sudden individualism and looking out for our own interests in a really positive way. Jupiter in Pisces is much more about community spread and like all of us together. Jupiter in Aries is like me, bitch, what do I need? And also has some reoccurring patterns in the world when it happens every 12 years that you can see when I describe it in the video on it. But this will be a transit until the end of October, so there's a permeation of individualism and standing up for ourselves throughout the summer period. Now on the 15th, there is a lunar eclipse in Scorpio, and this is the second out of 2 eclipses for the springtime period. It is extremely configured in the charts of the political leaders in question during this time. It looks very difficult for the chart of Ukraine. It looks difficult, but not quite to the same level for the chart of Russia. And I'm going to have a full video on this that you can watch, but the eclipses for this cycle look gnarly. They look really difficult, and I've been open about that. It is a lunar eclipse, so it's a full moon but on steroids and much more active. It is in Scorpio, which is fixed water, and the south node there represents a letting go of things that we have a lot of emotional ties to and want control over. So it's a letting go of control and of obsessive attachment for the general public, especially for those of you with middle degree, 20 to 20-ish degree Scorpio placements, which is not middle, it's like 2/3 in. But Scorpio placements or any fixed sign placements around 20 degrees will be majorly impacted, which I conveniently do have. It's a release of obsession in that area of your life. And instead of moving towards that obsession anymore, we're moving more towards a more grounded, sustainable option and keeping in mind temperance, because Saturn is at the bending of the nodes. Saturn is at the 90-degree angle between the north and south node, which is a signal for temperance and being logical and rational as a kind of missing piece between being aloof and just kind of there during this time and not experiencing the closure versus continuing to be obsessive or overly attached to what's going on. The Mars-Neptune conjunction is a highly spiritual aspect as well because it is exact during this time. The Mars-Neptune conjunction is actually exact a few days later, but Mars is the fighter and Neptune is spirituality, shows a spiritual or oversight of religious conviction during this time. There's a highly spiritually empowered notion behind what's happening in each of our lives. It feels like we're acting with a higher purpose. I'll also be honest and say that Mars-Neptune looks like the spread of things that could be biological or harmful in a cellular sense, because Mars is aggression, Neptune is can be DNA, cellular based, the spread of biological things during this time. So overall, with the lunar eclipse in Scorpio, there will be truth and behind the scenes information unveiled as to what was trying to be controlled that cannot be controlled. And we clearly did not have all the information, given that Mercury is retrograde during this as well. Venus and Chiron will be conjunct in Aries this time, which could be Venus being like women and values, and Chiron being humiliation or vulnerability. Could be that a woman or a matter around femininity or a women's issue could become very public despite it being kind of humiliating or shameful. Not that it should be, but there's that notion and it's coming to light during this time as well. So piecing that together, it looks like the unveiling of the spread of something that could be biologically harmful in nature on a collective level, and then more on an individual level could be just us letting go of obsession and control in the Scorpio house in our charts. On the 15th to the 16th, the Sun in Taurus will square Saturn in Aquarius. So this is a little bit of push-pull between trying to be grounded and having our logical mind bringing in obstacles. There's a hindrance to what all of us want to accomplish middle of the month. Then from the 17th to the 18th, Mars is literally conjunct Neptune in Pisces, and that is when the height of the spiritual warrior energy or the spreading combat energy also is happening during this time. So those of you with Pisces placements might find yourself particularly aggressive towards a higher cause, but overall in the world it can be difficult to be direct with our actions as we feel more aligned towards this greater cause and don't really know where to start. I'm someone with a Mars-Neptune opposition, and I have a lot of trouble pinpointing what exactly my plan of action needs to be, which is why I tend to make like hyper-categorized to-do lists, or I just won't be able to do anything. On the 24th, however, thankfully Mars enters Aries, and Mars will be entering its home sign. So I particularly like Mars in Aries. It gets things done. It is impulsive but courageous at the same time. It doesn't take too long to act. So we can expect world events to increasingly pick up the pace nearing the end of May as Mars is in its home sign. On the 26th to the 27th, Venus in Aries will be squaring Pluto in Capricorn, which is difficult given that Venus being around values, squaring Pluto can be paranoia. Could be that we're acting very impulsively because we are quite paranoid about things that are coming up, and could be a test to the commitment we have to others. On the 28th, Venus then enters Taurus, which I also love in conjunction with Mars entering Aries, or not that they're conjunct, but Mars entering its home sign and Venus then entering Taurus, its home sign, is really nice. Taurus is fixed earth. It is luxury here and now. It is grounded. It is trusting. It is dependable. And Venus entering Taurus is like, we get to breathe a little bit. We can enjoy the finer things in life. On the 29th to 30th, however, with Mars conjoining Jupiter in Aries, definitely looks like the spread of all of us acting individually, the spread of us acting courageously. It looks like big Martian action, big aggression, like the spread of empowerment, 29th to 30th. And finally, on the 30th, we end the month with a new moon in Gemini. So a new beginning around data, around information, around beliefs in the Gemini house in our own charts. It's a fairly straightforward Gemini new moon. It is like, okay, new data, new perspective, new beginning of information. And for each of us with Gemini placements, not that I do, but like I notably don't. For those of you with Gemini placements, a new beginning in that area of your life or on your sun, for example. So if you have any comments, do let me know down below. Would love to hear from you how you feel about this May and things you're expecting in your own life. The Elemental Oracle deck card that we have for the collective for this May is Expansion North. Be guided, but do your research. Focus and honesty is needed to overcome obstacles. You know your true north, so be brave about the next steps. We may have a number of purposes in life, not just a single one. It is time for true adventure. So I think this is saying, like with Aries energy, true north applies a lot because it's very primal, it's very immediate, it does not think twice, it simply does, and it does not think twice. So taking the first leap, the first steps towards that like immediate action, I think will be important, and it's something that can prove valuable in the midst of so many other agendas. Do it quickly and do it with importance. So if you enjoy this, do make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. It really does help with the algorithm if you would be so kind. Do let me know your questions as well. I always look forward and I read everything. So I will see you in the next video.